I didn't mean to overhear it. I was rinsing a plate in the kitchen when my sister's voice floated in from the living room, light and performative. "We bought a BMW with her money," she laughed. "Well, technically she doesn't know that." There was a pause. Her boyfriend must have said something. "She thinks I'm still catching up on bills." My sister added, "Living here rent-free is finally paying off." The plate slipped slightly in my hand but didn't fall. I turned off the tap and stood still, listening to the rest of their laughter settle into the walls of the house I paid for. For a few seconds, I felt almost embarrassed. Not for her. For myself. Rent-free had been my idea. 6 months earlier, she had shown up with 2 suitcases and a story about a job that fell through unexpectedly. She needed time. Just a few months. She'd cover utilities once she was stable. She promised she'd contribute. I believed her because I wanted to believe her. At first, it seemed harmless. Groceries doubled. The water bill ticked upward. I told myself it was temporary. That helping family wasn't transactional. But the temporary kept stretching. There was always a reason she couldn't transfer anything yet. Car trouble. Credit card interest. A freelance payment delayed. And now a BMW. I dried my hands and walked into the living room. She was sitting cross-legged on the couch, her boyfriend leaning back comfortably like this was his place too. Her phone was still in her hand, open to photos. I caught a glimpse of a beach, white sand, filtered sunlight. "You should enjoy the car," I said. She looked up, startled but not concerned. "You heard that?"
Was.
She rolled her eyes slightly. "Relax. It was a joke." It wasn't. Her boyfriend shifted, suddenly aware he was in someone else's house. "You're being dramatic," she said. "I deserve something nice. I've had a hard year." I nodded slowly. "Enjoy the car," I repeated, "because you're evicted." She laughed at first. A short, disbelieving sound. "You can't do that." I didn't raise my voice. "I can." Something in my tone must have reached her, because the smile dropped. "You're overreacting." "It's not like I'm stealing from you." I looked at her phone, still unlocked. "The vacation was nice." Her expression flickered. "What vacation?" she asked too quickly. I walked back into the kitchen and returned with my own phone. I had taken screenshots 2 weeks earlier when a mutual friend accidentally tagged her in photos from a resort in Mexico. She had blocked me from seeing them directly, but not everyone else. I handed her the phone. There she was. Sunglasses. Ocean behind her. Captioned, "Much needed reset. 3 days." I said quietly, "Flights. Resort. And you told me you couldn't contribute to groceries." Her boyfriend stood up slowly. "I'm going to wait outside." When the door closed, she looked smaller somehow. Not ashamed, cornered. "It was a discount deal," she muttered. "It was a choice." She tried a different angle. "You make more than me. It's not like this hurts you." That sentence landed heavier than the BMW. This wasn't about money. It was about assumption. I walked to the dining table and placed a manila envelope in front of her. It had been sitting in my desk drawer for a week. "What's this?" she asked. "Formal notice." Her face drained of color. "You already filed?" "Yes." 2 days earlier, after seeing the vacation photos, I had scheduled a consultation with a property attorney. The house was solely in my name. She had no lease. Legally, she was a tenant, at will. The attorney advised documentation and proper notice. "No drama. Just process." "I thought you were bluffing," she said. "I don't bluff." Her voice rose. "You're choosing pride over family." "No," I said. "I'm choosing boundaries over convenience." She paced the living room, anger surfacing now. "Where am I supposed to go?" "The same place you were going to park the BMW." That was the only sharp thing I said. And I regretted the edge immediately, not because it wasn't true, but because I didn't want this to become about winning. The next week was tense. She called relatives before she packed a single box. I received 2 careful phone calls asking if I was sure this wasn't impulsive. I explained calmly. I used dates, numbers, screenshots. No insults. Something shifted when people realized this wasn't emotional. It was documented. On the final day, A uniformed sheriff's deputy arrived to oversee the move out, as required once formal notice expired. He stood quietly near the door while she carried out the last suitcase. The presence of authority made everything real. No more arguing, no more minimizing. She didn't look at me as she left. The house felt larger that night. Not warmer, just quieter. I walked into the kitchen, the same spot where I had overheard the laughter. The silence didn't feel victorious. It felt honest. I had helped her because I loved her, but somewhere along the way love had turned into access. A week later she texted. "I found a smaller place. It's temporary." I stared at the message for a while before replying. "I hope it works out. We haven't discussed the BMW, or the vacation, or the bragging. Our conversations are shorter now. Careful. Sometimes I miss the noise. The familiarity of another person in the house. But I don't miss the quiet resentment that had started to live under my skin." I didn't ruin her. I just stopped cushioning her choices. And the boundary, once drawn, stayed exactly where I placed it.